What? God dang it,
What?
Trista. She gave me this face, and I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do the intro because she waited, and she held that face the entire countdown. Anyways, welcome,
Well, I'm not cutting it out.
to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. No, keep it.
I'm keeping it. Like, you know,
no, we're
like,
keeping
it
it
doesn't
in
have
there.
to. It doesn't always have to be professional and stuff. He's Dustin. I'm Trav. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Yeah. I don't know. This week's been like kind of, I don't know. My feet tell the story. Like, my feet tell the story how much they're hurting. I don't know what it's been lately. I think I need to get some actual tennis shoes for work. I actually walked into work today, and this is kind of a funny story. I'll tell this. I walked into work today, and like, basically I switched over to my Converse All-Stars that I wore to my wedding. Like, that's starting to be, because I mean, they were literally bought for the wedding, so I might as well just wear them to work and stuff. And the laces are starting to come loose really bad. And so I've been lazy and just like haven't gotten new laces. Like, I had to like cut them the other day because there was literally such a bad knot and I didn't have time that I just cut them. Yeah, I'm stupid. But anyway, like, I haven't gotten new laces, and so I've been wearing I have like a few different pair, and I've been wearing my old pair that looks super like grimy. The white part on the front is like basically like almost black because it's just like got all kinds of just, I don't know. It's been through heck. And apparently today was the last day for my left shoe. Apparently the last day. Because I walk into work and the whole sole underneath is starting to just, like, I almost tripped because I'm like, wait, what did I step on? Apparently my sole, not my actual sole, but my shoe sole was like, I stepped on it. It like folded out onto the concrete, and I just was like, wow, like, this is how my day is going to start. So I basically limped to the bakery department, because that's like right at the front, and like just tore my sole off and threw it in the trash. And I had already clocked in, but I was like, well, I need to go get another pair of shoes. So I literally ran home really quick and just kind of like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that was weird, but and no one cares about that story, but whatever.
Well, I have a question to follow up this story. Why the fuck are you wearing Converse to work on a concrete floor? You're insane. I don't get it. Converse, to me, are the most uncomfortable shoes ever made. And to think that people used to play basketball in them, what the hell? I can't, man. Look.
Well, I actually have been wanting to get some new Vans, or
I think
like
Converse
something like
look great.
that.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. They look awesome.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. They're not meant for like that's why those fell off. Like, those are already, I mean, they're only like a few years old, and they're to that point where that part just like fell off. There's these nice high tops.
I mean, it's just like Converse are just nice to look at. Like, they fuck wearing them. I don't get it. Like,
but then no one can see you're wearing them if you. But no, like, I don't know. I just always been a Converse guy, but I do love Vans. Like, and I feel like Vans can be even more comfortable.
Depending on the Vans.
But
yes.
I really, yeah, I've had a pair for a long time that aren't, so I understand both sides. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I've just been lazy and haven't like took the time to be like, okay, buy like a pair of like tennis shoes to wear to work. But then I'm just kind of like, tennis shoes though, man, that's like me going back to middle school, and I just like, I know it's gonna be better for my feet in the long run, but man, they are not gonna like have any style whatsoever unless I just literally specifically find like tennis shoes that look good and feel good. Like, it's gonna be a hard balance.
I am the man to talk to.
Well, then what shoe would you recommend, Dustin, that's not $3,000? Like,
a Nike Odyssey React.
that, or like, I thought you were gonna, I'd straight up thought, if this man says Jordans, I'm gonna be like,
no, listen,
like, what?
Listen, I love my Jordans, right? And I wear them quite often, but goddamn, they look good, but they do not feel good. The only Jordan that I have that I can wear all day with no problems are my Jordan 3s. That is it. That is the only Jordan retro that I can wear all day and like it not bother me.
Yeah. So Nike what?
The Odyssey React.
Okay, I'll look into them.
They look really good, man. And you can honestly, dude, you can honestly find pairs for like $50. It's got to look.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not even that I'm too picky, but like, I freaking hate tennis shoes that like freaking like ball up your pants and stuff at the bottom. Like, I can't stand that. Like, I gotta like have like something that fits where the jeans aren't. I don't know. Like, and I haven't always been able to get that. Like, and nail that down, because even like Converse can do that, like high tops and stuff. But
that's what's nice about the Odyssey Reacts is they're very slim. Like they're not gonna they're not bulky. And honestly, I'm pretty sure Trista can agree with me on this because she has 3 pairs of Reacts, and that's like all she wears. Like to work, like I got her these ones. They're all Flyknits, so they're stretchy, they're breathable, they slip right on, they stay on, they're comfortable. She wears them. She literally has worked 12-hour shifts in them.
I'll definitely look into it. I definitely need something that's gonna help my feet.
Or if you if you want to spend a little bit more money, get the Pegasus Turbos. They are the most comfortable shoes I own.
Shout out to any shoe people in the comments. Go ahead and leave whatever you want about it. And I don't know, leave your recommendations, guys. I would love to read them. Yeah. So we do have like a subject that we wanted to kind of discuss today, and you've probably already seen the title, obviously. But Dustin has kind of a story to jump off of that to of kind of why. I mean, it's kind of like it's a subject that's like that probably in the back of our head we could have like probably came up with it, or even just accidentally like did like a free form episode and then just kind of cause, I mean, we've pretty much mentioned in the episodes before, like, hey, like enjoy the little stuff and like just take in life, just not with like all this like heaviness on your shoulders all the time and all this stuff. But we do have a legit reason if Dustin wants to explain it.
Right. So it was last week, and you know, everybody being quarantined and just like not really being able to get out and do much. My parents actually took the kids, and Trista and I were at home, and we were like, let's go like, yeah, what was it, like last Friday? No, 2 weeks ago. Just, it doesn't matter. Whenever I messaged you, Trev. But anyways, like my parents had the kids. Trista was off work. It was a Friday. And Trista's like, let's go for a walk. And literally right across the street from our house, like if I look out our bedroom window, I can see a park. We live right across the street from the park in our town. And it's a big park. And Trista was like, let's just go for a walk. And I was like, okay. So we went for a walk, and we did like a little loop. There's like a little trails and stuff you can walk around, and we were on kind of this gravel path, and there was like all these little acorns. There was all these acorns on the ground. And I like looked back and I noticed Trista was picking them up, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, try to find an acorn that has like the cap on it. So I found one, and we picked it up, and I was like, what do you want to do with it? And she's like, I want to take it home for the kids. And I was like, do they not really know what an acorn is? She's like, they do, but you know, like how often do you just kind of forget about something and then you see it and then it just kind of like brings back memories, or, you know, just kind of makes you think. And she was like, you know, that's like a really good topic for your podcast, just about how as people nowadays, we just kind of tend to overlook the little things and how beautiful things truly are. So I messaged Trav immediately, and I was like, Trista just came up with like the best topic ever for the podcast, and here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, like I'm, you know, and there's so much that goes into that, like, and that means, you know, work stress, life stress, depression, like all that. I think like just generally enjoying the little things and taking time to notice stuff can really be sort of healing, really. I mean, it depends on the person, depends on how you really just take in life, like how you process it, like how, you know, what, I don't know, like little stuff like that sometimes, like I've known some people that like what? Like, what do you know, that's stupid, you know, it's like, but then they just don't get it, like, it's like, it's their loss too if they feel like they can't take time to like enjoy something like that. Yeah, I definitely, and me and Ryan, like, even before I ever, like, found anyone or anything like that, we would go on walks all the time and hang out, like, all the time. So we were all about just kind of finding, like, just kind of, I don't know. We would talk about stuff or whatever, but then, like, there's always something to notice outside, It's always something interesting. Like, I personally do. We have a place, freaking, in my hometown called the Bonadilla Trail. And it is, like, literally, I've never seen one, but supposedly, well, I mean, it's actually a fact that there is, but I've just never seen one. But alligators live there, stuff like that. So it's like, it's a trail for jogging and stuff, and it's literally like a beautiful, like, it's just like a man-made trail, and you're just running or walking or whatever just through the trees. Like, it's just this nice foresty, and I've even ventured out off the trail and kind of gone to, like, the little woodsy area there, and it's just nice to, like, I don't know. I personally, like, I grew up, like, going on hunting trips with my dad. Like, I didn't grow up to be a hunter. I didn't really, like, but I appreciate the sort of art of it, really, I guess is the wrong word, but just the whole way it's done, and, like, I don't know. It's still, to me, and I'm not really, like, a country kid anymore or whatever, but I appreciate and love the idea. And I told Ashley we need to do this. Like, we need to take time to, like, literally camp, like, in the woods somewhere or something. And off the top of your head, you're like, that sounds dangerous. But, I don't know. It's all about location.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely recommend, like, Camp Crystal Lake. I heard it's really nice there.
Wow. But, what the heck? I was like, wait, he's really recommend. Oh, like, but, anyway, so, I don't know. So me and my dad, like, would sit in a tree stand, and even if we don't get a deer, like, if we don't get a deer or anything, he would try to show me how to hunt, and actually, like, and I had a chance one time to take a buck's life, but, I didn't do it. So that was pretty much, like, the day, I guess, that I realized, like, yeah, this isn't going to be for me. But anyway, that's a different story. But being in the woods is still this nostalgic peacefulness for me. I love it. I love the smell. Like, I just love, like, if you go out in the fall, like, it's so nice. Just that air, the air is just so crisp and so, like, I don't know. It's the definition of, like, getting fresh air. If you really want to get fresh air, go into the middle of the woods and, like, just chill. Like, and there's silence there. If you've been around the city and cars your whole life, like, if you go out into the woods, there's a silence there you'll never experience anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need that. Like, freaking, just something I was watching the other day, because I actually, because the new, I don't know if anybody else has seen it. Let me know in the comments if you guys watch Hot Ones. Zac Efron was, like, the new episode recently.
Yes, he was.
And he had mentioned, like, that he goes out into the woods. Like, actually, well, I take that back. Like, he has a whole show, actually. I think it's called, like, Killing Zac Efron or something like that. Or he has to basically do the Bear Grylls thing, basically, which is just kind of survive. And I would have never known Zac Efron was into that kind of thing, but he said he literally loves just nature and getting out. And I think John Krasinski's the same way, I'm pretty sure. I think he's a very outdoors, like, type of hiker, and, like, I love that kind of thing. Like, and I just don't do it enough is the problem. And it's good exercise. It's good for your mental health. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been a lot younger than I am now, and I'm just, kind of feeling down or whatever, and then just going on, like, a hike with my dad or something was just, like, it just refuels you, because you come back to the normal world of your house and everything, and it's just kind of like, you don't realize you need it until you've already done it.
Right.
And it's a really beautiful thing. Like, I love just nature and animals, obviously, and just noticing life is just this kind of, there's a peacefulness there, and I'm sure a bunch of people like understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, definitely like, like the acorn thing. It's like something as simple as that, which I think is cool that, Trista took the time to be like, I don't even know if they've seen one of these before. Like, because now, and I'm sure y'all's kids are, I don't know, have their head in the games and the phones and everything. And like whenever me and Dustin grew up, like we didn't have any of that.
Right.
And, so we kind of had to go outside and find entertainment. I mean, we had video games and stuff, but like, I think I had the type of parents, and my friends' parents that I would go and hang out with had these types of parents too, so they were all the same. Where it was like, if you play in the video games inside too long, parents would literally be like, okay, stop doing this and go get some outside time. Like, they would make us do that. But it was,
my parents.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, it was. My parents did that too. That's just like, very early on, like they bought like a trampoline. And I remember getting dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and then, like, as we got older, playing paintball. And that was the thing. Like, you would, like, my parents
I'm
would,
just saying, like, nowadays, society's kind of lost that. Just a little bit. Like, it's just kind of, there's still people that are pursuing it, but I think kids today should learn some things the way we did. It's just my perspective on it, of, like, it's like, no, like, hang out outside, at least some.
That's exactly it. Like, I'm sure Tristan remembers this too. Like, my parents would have these weekends where, like, this is when Tristan and I were dating back in, oh god, it was probably, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And like, my parents would just have like a big fire out back and cook food, like a big barbecue, and they would be playing, like, riding dirt bikes, and on, like, I'd have the four-wheelers out, because there's a field behind my parents' house, and every year they would mow a different path into the field, and you would just ride all day, like, it was so nice. And like, Tristan and I've been talking too, because there's a park near us. It's called McConnell's Mills, and it's beautiful. I've only ever been there one time. But Trista was like, do you like hiking? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm not against it at all. I just never really got to, like, actually do it, but it's something that I would like to do. So I think sometime soon we're going to try to make a trip out there. And I even talked about, too, here real soon, getting us all new bikes and just going on, like, family bike rides. Even if it's on the freaking bike trail that's 2 minutes away from our house, just something to get out, get the kids out, and get them moving, because Trista's a very outdoorsy person. As much as she loves video games and hanging out, like, if she has the opportunity, like, today was beautiful. It was like 65 degrees today. She's like, okay, like, we got up, we cleaned the house, Aiden did his online schoolwork, and then we got McDonald's, went over to my parents' house. My parents have a huge yard, obviously, with dirt bikes and four-wheelers and stuff, and they literally just got a brand new trampoline yesterday. And the kids love jumping on it. So, like, we just went over there and we played catch and we all jumped on the trampoline. It was just a good time. So I definitely recommend, guys, like, get out. Like, even if you are quarantined right now, if you have a relative or somewhere, or a friend or someone that you is close by that you can drive to or walk to, go and just, like, hang out, sit outside, have a fire, go get a football and play catch. Like, do something.
Yeah, there's nothing like a freaking fire and I know it's like basically summer right now, so, but this winter, guys, make a fire, like, just like, there's nothing like it. Most marshmallows, I love roasting marshmallows, man. Like, I'm not much of a marshmallow eater, but when it comes to like the fire type, burn, like, crisping your marshmallow a little bit and stuff, like, that's delicious. And I don't know. Like, I also love fishing. Like, that's actually something at my core that, like, I never really go do or really even talk about. But I do love, like, like, I know enough where, like, I could probably take someone fishing that knows nothing about it and teach them something. Like, I mean, I've been doing that my whole childhood. And it's just something that I kind of, and I keep telling my dad, like I keep texting him every year. Like I think I texted him even like a month ago. I was like, hey, this year we should go fishing. I actually told him like, Ashley's never really been, so I kind of want to see if she could get addicted to it, you know, and like my dad gave us some freaking fishing poles last year that we never got around to using, and this year they're literally still in the trunk of my car. Like, and I'm literally itching to like actually get them out and like try to
Just
like
go.
teach her how to fish. Like, it'd be fun. Like, you know, cleaning fish and all that. You know, you don't have to do all that. Just fish. Like, you could throw them back. You know, it might make you feel better to keep them alive anyway. But
Right.
it's just fishing and just the art of the catch is just fun.
It's thrilling. It's
really
really
is.
thrilling. I don't know how Trista feels about fishing. Do you like fishing? Trista does not like fishing. I can tell by the look on her face.
Dude, you haven't had fun until you go trout fishing.
Listen,
That is like
this is
it
where
is the
this is where we're gonna have some differences here, Trav. Like I've fished before in PA, but when I lived in Florida, fishing in Florida completely different. It is a like saltwater fishing compared to freshwater fishing, whole different ball game. Like if I had the opportunity to go fishing and I got the choice of like, hey, you can like we can either go to like some freshwater creek or you can go fish off a bridge in a fucking river connected to the ocean. Like I'm gonna go pick the saltwater fishing. It was so fun because like there was this bridge in Florida. It's called the Dunlawton Bridge. Huge bridge. My favorite bridge to go over where I lived, by the way, when I lived down there. And like my uncle and my grandpa and our family friend Lori before she passed, we would always go there. And that was just like, that's where we would go. And I've got to, like, my uncle's caught in sharks. Like, I've got to reel in sharks. I've, like, stingrays. I mean, just, like, crabs. The ugliest fish I've ever seen in my life, which is called a toadfish. Like, just all different kinds of fish. It was, like, just completely different than fishing up here. It's awesome.
Yeah, like my dad would just take me on the White River, and that's and it's a pretty intense river actually if you get down to like there's like rapids and stuff, and but it's a ton of fun. Like I I learned pretty much how to fish on the White River, and my dad actually I think said one time like, you know, cremate me and to pour me into the White River. That's how much it means to him. And you know, like I don't know if that's what we're gonna go through with. I'd have to be like, hey, do you still want that? But I don't know. But we had a cabin, but he had to sell it. Just back whenever like my parents divorced, and I was like 14 or so, probably 13 or 14. But like that's a whole other story. But we had a cabin, and it was on the can't even speak, White River in northern Arkansas, and that place is amazing, and I sometimes just wish. I mean, I'm an adult now, and I could drive down there, but like sometimes I just want to visit it, and I don't know. Maybe one day, me and Ashley, like I could take her down to an area that I grew up in, which is going down there, and because like the people that bought my dad's cabin like remodeled it to their own or whatever, but they have allowed him to like come and see it sometimes and stuff. So maybe they would do the same for me, and.
Sure.
Just thinking about going down there and just being like, what does that look like now? What's maybe there's probably more houses and stuff being built around it, and it's knocking out all the woods and everything. But I just remember a whole lot of woods and yeah, man, that brings me back. Like that's kind of like wow, just total look binoculars into my childhood, but
there we go. It literally touches on our main subject, which is enjoy the little things. Trav just took a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, man, like I really am. Like I'm having flashes of like just imagery of just stuff I've seen, and just like it's so nice, man. Like I don't know. Sometimes that's all it takes. I feel like for you to, you know, for the people that are really, really down and stuff, like just, I don't know, like a lot of memories are, you know, I know that not everyone's got good memories. Some, I've met the people that like almost everything about their life through their childhood was negative, like, and it just, and sometimes, and I'll give them the, like, sometimes it's like it literally is that bad. Other times I feel like they're just spitting stuff where it's just like, yeah, but you're just looking at all the negative things. There's got to be some positives in there somewhere. But I mean, hey, maybe not. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe there's not like positive things in your life, but there's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, there's at least something.
And it just I don't know. It makes me sad whenever other people are just that sad about like how their life is and everything, or how their life has been, and then I always just gotta tell them like, but man, that's not what it has to be anymore, man. Like I talk to people that are like in the worst situations, and it's just like, but all I can ever tell them, give them advice is just like, it what you're dealing with is BS, and it's going to take you yourself to get out of it. Like, and there's no other ifs, ands, buts about it. Like, you have to do the work. You have to mentally make, sometimes you're stuck in a pattern that's bad. One of my worst patterns ever in my life was just remaining to live with my mom. Like, it was horrible. Like, I love my mom to death and everything, and, like, we get along now, but, like, we never got along, man, and it's just, like, I should have been out of there way long before that. And, like, that's just, I don't know. And
but you know what though? Like, if it wouldn't have happened that way, you wouldn't have grown the way that you have either as a person.
Yeah, no, and it's just like, and I understand that, but I also just know people that are in similar situations, and they just like, they decide to not do much about it. And I'm like, man, like, I know, and I always tell them too, like, hey, it's not my life, do what you want. But if I was you, and I say all this stuff, like, hey, man, like, it's, like, you're gonna live out the rest of your life, like, pulling your hair out and, like, getting older a lot faster. I believe that wholeheartedly, by the way, that stress and stuff is leading to old age faster. I don't care what anybody says like that. I'm sure some of my gray hairs that I'm getting were from my mom. I guarantee it. Like, I guarantee it, dude. I'm not even like, that is, but also, like, supposedly my biological dad had, like, gray hair really young, so I think, thanks, Dad, I never knew. Like, that's kind of crazy. But anyway, but that's just kind of like what, we wanted to discuss about that was just like, and I'm really tired, guys. I'm tripping over my words. I've had a long week. This is my Friday, and I'm finally here. It's finally my weekend, and it feels good. But it was like, get off work, do the podcast, still working. I'm still technically working. No, it's not work, but at least I'm getting to sit down. I haven't sat down in like 3 hours, and now I am, and it's just like,
that's nice. The podcast is so nice. Like, therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's nice to just come on and talk. And to kind of touch on what you said a little bit ago, and you said how people that are in kind of shitty situations that really aren't doing much to change it. It's funny because I've actually had that issue where I've just gotten really comfortable, or not really so much comfortable. It's not like the right
sometimes
word to
it's
use
easy to get comfortable in the bad. Like, that's really easy to do.
Comfortable is not the right word. It's like I just got kind of
used to it,
like complacent. Yeah, like that was it. Like, I just kind of had it in my head that, like, okay, and I'm gonna use one of my past relationships as this example. And Tristan and I talk about it all the time, and it's just like, I literally just got so complacent in the relationship I had when I was living in Florida that I didn't realize how poorly I was being treated by this individual. And I was just like, okay, like, this is my life, like, this is how it's going to be, and, like, I just kind of accepted it. And it's like, when I got out of that relationship, like, I just fucking realized, well, not when I got out, it was really getting towards the end of it, I kind of started to have, like, this realization of, okay, like, this isn't okay. Like, I'm actually in, like, a mentally and verbally abusive relationship. I can't say physically because I wasn't, but she was very mentally and emotionally abusive. And I had no idea. Like, it's just what I was used to. And towards the end, when I started to realize, like, okay, I'm not the one that's fucked up here. It was like, honestly, man, it was probably one of the most beautiful moments of my life when I kind of had that moment of like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck am I doing? This isn't me. Like, that moment right there, my life completely changed. And like it was just like this weight lifted off my shoulders, and I realized how much in like the 4 years that I was with her, like how much I really missed out on. Like, it was to the point in the relationship where I was lying to my best friend. Like, I turned, I think I turned 21. It was my 21st birthday. And no, it wasn't, because I turned 21 here. My 22nd birthday. And I remember my friend Eric, like my best friend, worked at Applebee's. Mind you, this apartment I lived in, I could see Applebee's. It was literally across the street from my apartment. And it was like 8 o'clock. My friend was like, hey, if you come in tonight when we close, like I'll buy you a couple beers, or when I get off work. He's like, if you come in when I get off work, I'll buy you a couple beers. He got off at like, I don't know, 9 o'clock. It was like 8 o'clock when he messaged me this. And I remember I looked at the girl that I was with and I said, hey, Eric really wants me to go grab a couple beers. It's my birthday. Like, can I go? And she literally like looked at me and was like, no. And I was like, well, what do I say to him? And she's like, just tell him you're tired. And I literally had to lie to him and say, no, man, sorry, I can't make it. I'm really tired. I'm just going to like go to bed. Like, that's how like fucked up it really was. And it's weird now, like being with Tristan now, it's, I don't know, dude, like I just feel like a completely different person. Like I feel genuine happiness. By the way, it is April 7th, and Trista and I, our 1 year anniversary is coming up here on the 13th. So that's exciting, like 6 days away. And we're going to spend it locked in the house.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't think of any time where, like, maybe I had to, like, obviously I've lied before and everything. Everyone's probably done that, but, it's, yeah, it really, it takes you to look at, outside of your situation to be like, yeah, like that what am I doing moment. And
you want to, like, the hardest part about it
I had that
too,
so many times. The most mentally abusive thing about living with my mom was I had that so many times. That was the problem, where it was like, what am I doing? This sucks. Like, this is the worst thing ever to be doing to my, like, going on 20, but then it bled into my 20s that I was still there and everything. And it's just kind of like, this should not be a thing. And now my mom's like really old and kind of, she gets sick easy, and like I don't know, like she like ripped her like shoulder out and all of this one time and everything. And like, that's a, story for now. I think I might have talked about that on Trav Talks. I feel like that was old enough a long time ago. But anyway, but like, yeah, like, I had so many moments like that, and that was the torture feeling, was like, nothing's changing about this. And obviously, like, me looking for a job and everything back then, the fact that no one was calling me back, and even if I called them and everything, no one's hiring, like, that did not help, because my goal was to get a job, to get my own apartment in the town I lived in. But, Ashley's made a good point before that, hey, like, I've said this, like, I wish I still worked at this place or whatever, like, and then she's just like, yeah, but if you would have, our life may not have started. You know, so it's almost kind of like everything that was meant to happen up until now happened, and it's like, and it's folding out beautifully. Like, it's so weird how that works. So all this negativity was almost like meant for me to like meet someone, like get married, and like have this like place, and like and be working on like getting a house in the future, and like that's crazy. That's something that I would never have looked at myself a few years ago and been like, that's what's going to happen to you. I would like, if anybody would have told me that and been able to predict my future, I would have laughed in their face. Like, it's insane like how that works. And I know I'm going down like a rabbit hole, but
Oh no, I agree. And I think honestly, like the hardest part about that happening in Florida, like she had her family and I had my grandparents. But before like I had kind of that moment of like, fuck you, like I'm finally free, Eric ended up moving back to Pennsylvania. So obviously because her and I broke up and clearly I wasn't talking to her and I didn't have any friends because of her, the only people that I had were my friend Mike, who at the time lived like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours away from me. So it was like really hard to see each other. Eric had moved back to PA, and my friend Steven, who I was really good friends with down there, was like living in Orlando. So at the time, and which again was like over an hour away from me. So like there was like a point in time where I just had nobody. And that's actually when I started doing the daily vlogs because like that was, I guess, my way of coping. And then Steven came back and like, I don't know. And then everything just kind of happened. And as much as I miss Florida and as much as I would love to go back or, think back on it, like what Ashley told you, if I would have went back down there all the times that like anything bad happened up here and I just wanted to fucking pack my bags and just run and just go back to Florida because I thought everything would be fine, which is a problem that I had, by the way, where anytime something went wrong and I was like depressed and ready to fucking give up, I was like, oh, if I just go back to Florida, everything's going to be better. But then realizing that, I had to convince myself, like, no, like if you go down there, it's going to be the same. You're just going to be in a different place. But I would have never met Trista. Like Tristan and I would have never found our way back into each other's lives. Like it all just kind of happened. And the funny thing is too, is because Tristan and I dated way back when. I've talked about it here before, but we were also broke up for like, how long? How long do you think we were broken up from after high school until now?
Like 10 years.
Like 10 years. And every time, yeah, and every time I talked to her, I told her, and we talked about on the podcast too, like speaking things into existence. I kept telling Trista, I was like, I'm going to take you. Like, I'm going to be with you one day. And now we're engaged. So, it's so weird just kind of how everything works. But anytime something bad happens, it's like, all you think about is like, oh my fucking God, like I'm never going to recover from this. And then when good things start happening and you think back on that time where you thought that way, and it's like, you know what though? Like, I'm actually kind of glad it happened the way it happened, because if it didn't, then I wouldn't be where I am. Like, if I would have never met Trista, I wouldn't have, like, who's to say what would have happened? We probably wouldn't even have this podcast. I probably wouldn't have 2 kids that I love with my whole fucking heart. Like, that would have never happened if things didn't happen the way they happened for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, the podcast in itself is a good example of like this podcast was evolution of different things. If Dustin, my podcast on my channel was just literally this thought of like, I want something else. Like, for doing food reviews and everything, it's great, but like, I didn't have a way to really like, okay, how do I just, like, there was just this itch for something else. And, like, just something else to do, like, YouTube, or entertainment-wise that I just needed, like, some kind of show or whatever, or some kind of setup. And then I remember one night it clicked, where I was like, holy crap, I don't have to get on camera. Why not just have, like, an audio-only, like, kind of discussion thing? And then,
one
like
day.
I had watched and listened to podcasts and everything, but I didn't really. I don't know. I guess back then I didn't register that that's what that was called or whatever, and that's what it is. And then like I started kind of looking more into podcasts and like what, and I was just like, this is just people talking, like, you know, and so you know I did it on my channel and everything, and it's kind of, you know, and every time I had Dustin on, like it was literally like the best episode. So, but it was actually Dustin that got the idea, like, and it was like a perfect, like, everything that went up from an idea to into, like, you guys are listening now. This was just a, like, originally, it was just a simple, the Inception quote, a simple idea.
It was so funny because I think what honestly brought it up is, like, you messaged me, like, hey, man, like, just completely out of the blue, because Trav and I didn't talk. Like, you guys would probably think that, you know, the way our conversations together, Trav and I literally talk every single
talked
day.
off and on for years. It's been an off and on thing.
Like, I mean,
and
Trav and I would
it's
go
never
months.
been anything against each other. We still love each other to death. It's just literally like it just happened that way, where like different things are going on in our lives, and then we just get quiet on each other, basically.
Like, I think I did an
and me and
episode of
Ryan
Trav
have done
Talks,
it too.
and it was like, I don't know, dude, probably 3 or 4 months passed. You're like, hey, like, just out of the blue, Trav's like, hey, man, I need to get you back on another episode of Trav Talks. And I was like, why don't we just start a fucking podcast? Like, let's just do it.
Yeah, it was an eventual thing. And then that, you know, so me starting a podcast got Dustin realizing he wants to even do a podcast, like that he'd be interested just in general, like a general, like, hey, like talking about stuff just as a show. Like, heck yeah. Like, it's like the perfect, form of you know, there's great entertainment out there that's like quote unquote better or whatever, but it's a great form of entertainment, just being able to just be yourself and just like, hey, you know, like just have a discussion, and the fact that people are gonna freaking listen to this, and like, you know, that blows my mind. Like, just the fact that, you know, me and Dustin, all we gotta do is have a conversation and then it's entertaining other people, like that's crazy. Like, that's a good crazy is what I mean, but like that's very beautiful in my opinion. And I hope it goes somewhere. Like, I hope it literally just grows into this thing, and like you know, but we're just enjoying it step by step.
And what's
Literally,
crazy too
like,
is May 19th is going to be my 5 years on the Minecraft channel, which is insane. And I was thinking about it too the other day. Like, I was scrolling through, like, I don't know what made me go back and just like search my YouTube name on just the normal YouTube search and just kind of scroll through and see what was more popular and kind of just what would come up, like if anybody like made videos about me or like talked about me in a video. I just wanted to see, and I like kind of got back to this point in time where it really wasn't too long ago, just about a year ago, where I was just not happy with the content I was creating, but I was just doing it for the sake of, you know, because it was like a chore almost. And then like getting on Moon Boot like really helped, kind of like, okay, you know what, like this is a whole new adventure. Like I really want to get back into it. And then like getting back together with Trista, and Trista is the most supportive person when it comes to me doing this stuff. And it just makes me feel so good. And like, if you guys go and like actually watch my 2 most recent videos, like, I have an intro now, like, I actually put time into the thumbnail, like, I'm actually editing videos again, and it just feels so good. Because, and like, I've noticed it too. Like, for the longest time, dude, for probably the past 6-7 months, my channel has been stuck at 8,500 subscribers. And now it is just fucking skyrocketing because, like, I can tell, like, I'm happy with the content I'm making, I'm putting effort back into it, and that's what people want. And I'm just happy too, because now that Trista's into like live streaming and Trista's into making content, it's like I can edit her videos. I enjoy doing it. And like her channel is doing really well because of it. Like, I'm just happy that I'm able to kind of pass that on to her channel early on and not have like as much of the ups and downs as what I had or what you had. I'm sure you've had it too, because you quit for a while. We've talked about.
yeah. And
Did you watch Tiger King yet, by the way?
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, like, I failed on that one because we were going to, but we've been like watching all this other stuff that we like pushed it back, but
do not push it back.
But
do not listen.
Okay, Mr. Period or exclamation points in between your claps.
The care package may have
not.
may have came. We got a new running joke. Watch fucking Tiger King, Trav.
Oh,
Okay.
it'll be done before the next podcast because me and Ashley finally. This is okay. Just to give myself a little credit for waiting. Like,
well, Netflix is also releasing an episode this week on it.
These 2 days, like, because this is basically my Friday. Like, this is my weekend. And I said that last time, but I had a weekend alone, and me and Ashley said last week, like, oh, I'm gonna watch Tiger King, and then I'm like, well, then why don't we just like, we both need to watch it. We're just gonna save it to watch it with each other because we have stuff we watch separately, and then stuff we like that's on the list to do together. So Tiger King is definitely like. I don't know if we'll watch all of it over this weekend, but we'll at least start it. But I've heard, obviously, that it's too addicting to not finish. So, and you know what? And shout out to Anthony, because our my good friend and our thumbnail creator, he, like, just freaking, he sent me a text. I almost want to read it, but I'd probably have to scroll too far up. But, like, he, like, left me a text like, dude, I never ever jump on new stuff. I've said it in my channel before and all this stuff, but I am highly recommending you gotta watch Tiger King. Like, and that's and I see what he's trying to say. Like, I can tell that there's a difference with that because he like never gets that excited about something like that to tell me like you gotta like it's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in my life or something. Like,
we need him on the podcast.
If Anthony's listening, I probably misquoted you, sorry, but he, and he's working on that. He's gonna he's in the process of getting a good mic and everything. He doesn't want to come on and it just be like,
I want him in the Do Aliens Exist one.
I asked him about that, and he said that I think he said he would rather us do that, and he would just be interested to hear it and have, be zoned into our conversation, but then he's just going to be on a separate one. But I mean, you can still invite your one friend if you want to, like, if he'd be interested. But yeah, like, but, and one thing I want to say, going back to Dustin talking about, like, his old life and everything, and, like, some of you guys didn't know Dustin, and I'm not trying to say I've known him for longer. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, Trev. but do what?
Such a hipster.
But like he like, I know that Dustin's been through a lot, and like Life of Dustin, that channel, I think that's what it was called, right? Like that was so like. I don't know how to explain it, and I know that we talked, there was times where, like, we don't talk, and then we would talk on Xbox for, like, a straight, like, every single day, because obviously I didn't have a life, and it just, like, well, I mean, not to say that it's now having a life is talking to Dustin, but I mean, gaming on Xbox for, like, hours with Dustin, like, and some good stuff came out of that. I have videos on a side channel called The Average Fox, where, like, I have GTA videos of him and his friends and me, and just, like, it was so fun and just so fun to edit and everything. Gaggle of goons, but just I can just tell, like, this is something, we were going on about stories and stuff, but I wanted to say this whenever you were saying that your life has changed, and that, but I can just tell, man, like, I can just tell. And man, you guys probably heard that. My freaking whole body just erupted with like a burp coming up through my chest. It was like like one of those really loud vibrating from your stomach all the way up to your throat. Like, anyway, I didn't actually burp though, but I can just tell, man. I just remember having that feeling during Life of Dustin. They were great vlogs, and I remember just whenever you stopped, I was legitimately sad. I was like, man, like, but I understand that you had to stop, because, like, now it's like you have the podcast, you have Dustin's MC, you have your Twitch channel. Like, there's no need to daily vlog. Like, it's just not your thing.
I miss it so much. And, like, I was just telling Trista, too, I kind of want to get, like, a good camera. Like, spend like
weekly. You could do like long weekly vlogs or something compiled of an entire week's stuff. Like, you don't have to do it daily, which is what I've recommended to Lucas too. Lucas will not take my advice of just doing. Lucas, you would have these amazing vlogs if he would just not do it daily and take his whole week into long vlogs. I would like be sucked in from beginning to finish, like 20-minute vlogs, like other people do sometimes. But that but Lucas wants to do what he wants to do. But like But anyway, my point I'm trying to make is back then there's this just, and maybe it's because we were both sad, like or something, but I don't know. I just remember sensing that. I don't know why I attach it to that, but like and maybe that might have been one of the. And I'm not trying to say like I was your friend through sympathy or anything like that, but I just kind of felt like I needed to talk to you on Xbox and stuff just through this feeling of like there was just something about Life of Dustin that was like that feeling of like he's not quite himself right now. They just I don't know. Like there was just that feeling. And and so to get yourself to a point where you're like now, like you said, with your channel and everything, and how being just so much happier, it's like a totally different person. So like that, like just kind of letting Dustin know like that really actually does show. It may not, you might think like, oh, maybe it's just in my head that I'm acting like happy or whatever. Like, no, it actually shows. Cause like I've seen Dustin at his worst and his best, I feel like, I guess, in a way. Like that sounds so cliche and stupid. But I don't know. There's a sadness there that I don't know. Like and also, whenever you had like the alcohol issue and everything, I didn't know anything about that because like you were hiding it well. So well, and you guys can listen to the and if you haven't listened to it, I'll link it in the description. Dustin's alcohol story is actually a really good episode because he just breaks
and
down
I feel like
what
why
it was.
people didn't know about it is because like I'm a very like generally I'm a very like happy kind of go lucky person. Like I just feel like that all the time. And normally when people drink, like they get mean or they get like sad. If I drank beer, like it was just like my normal personality just amplified. Like I don't know, like I just had fun.
Yeah, my point being though, like that I don't know. Like I don't know what my point was. It's just like I didn't even know about that, so it's kind of like I wouldn't have been able to. But like I can tell that because you're not drinking all the time anymore or anything, and I guess you're not even really doing it at all. But and Trista is obviously a bonus where it's like it's making you happy, and that's a great thing. And like that guys. Like, I'm pointing to Dustin in the direction that I don't know, north, east, west, south. I don't know where he is. But this guy over here, like, is a prime example of all of it. So you definitely should subscribe to his Twitch channel so that he can help you because he's probably been through it in some way,
Trevor's not even subscribed to my Twitch channel. He just follows me and pops in once every 6 months.
I'm not like I got a low attention span, man, but
listen, I'm gonna be a douchey Twitch streamer real quick. If you guys have Amazon Prime and you have a Twitch account, if you pay for Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account and you can subscribe to your favorite content creator or streamer, aka me. Sub to me. Give me your money. I mean, it's free. I mean, technically, it's like free money for you, but it's like free money for me. Never mind. I'm just.
No, but literally every time like I see the Into the Dark Zone notification, I'm like, okay, I'm right in the middle of probably playing Fallout with Ashley, so I join on my phone. If I really want to join and actually be involved, I will pull it up on like the app on my Xbox or PlayStation and just indulge. And I do plan to do that. Like I want to pull Dustin up on my big freaking TV.
But now you gotta follow Trista on Twitch.
Yeah, and that too.
Because Trista is killing the game, dude. Streaming The Sims, dude, people love that shit. She got a professional looking overlay. It's animated. Like, it's crazy. We got to do our recommendations, sir.
That's what I was literally about to say that. Do you have one?
I do have one. So I don't want this to sound conceited, but, we kind of talked about, like, how I started a vlog channel, which Trav is not going to link. Your homework is to go find that. Okay, for all the listeners on there, go find my vlog channel and literally watch the first episode and like the last one I ever did. And you can literally see, I mean, if you want to watch them all, go for it. It was like 100 something days. you can literally see the transformation of like sad, like on the verge of just like saying fuck it and giving up, to kind of where I'm at now. Like you witness the change, and it's so cool. So like I recommend, if you're going through a hard time, to go and watch that because maybe it can help you guys find something, whether it be through vlogging or some sort of medium to kind of help you along the way of getting better. So that's my recommendation.
And mine is just a kind of a cheap, like, well, obviously we talked a whole episode about this, Trav, so why is this your recommendation? But enjoy the little things / get outside. That's mainly it. Just get outside.
Mm-hmm. And be
get
safe.
outside.
Wash your hands.
You know, and I think that during this quarantine, thing like going on, pandemic, like that is pretty useful. Like literally, you don't have to like actually stay inside. Like, hey, if you have a like 12-pack of Mountain Dew right there. Grab one of those cans and take it outside and just drink on that thing and enjoy nature. Like you don't have, like, people almost feel like but I have to like leave everything inside, and like that if I'm outside then I'm not enjoying stuff that I like. No, grab your freaking water or Mountain Dew or whatever and go into a Slim Jim and go outside. Like just, enjoy, I don't know.
Taking the fresh air.
Just enjoy things. Like, I was about to say something, but I'm not gonna, like, that would sound really creepy, but honestly, I was about to say you could people watch, but that's really creepy, but it is fun sometimes, I won't lie. Like, if you just, like, sit in a parking lot and you're at a Kroger or something, and just, like, people are just being weird or whatever, it's entertainment in a way.
Tristan and I people watch.
It is pretty fun, but then it could come off really, really bad if I, like, really creepy, but yeah, guys, just enjoy it. And hey, enjoy our podcast if you wish. Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast, all that stuff. Like, and leave us a comment. I've been trying to remind myself to say that more. Please, for the love of God, say something.
Yeah,
we want to read your comments.
We don't even care
really
if you're like a regular viewer. If you're Lucas, Anthony, whatever, leave a dang comment.
You're calling specific people out
because I feel like those are the specific people that listen to us. Brent,
like, hey,
Brent,
hey,
1 2 3 4
hey,
6. I know you watch our goddamn podcast. Leave a comment.
Ryan, leave a comment.
Yeah, Ryan, leave a comment.
He listens to every single one from beginning to end, and I love him for it. Please comment something so I can read it.
Even if you just put a period, exclamation point, something, put a comment.
Then I will literally
write comment in the comments.
Hashtag comments, guys. This was a pretty great episode, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. You guys are the absolute best. Comment, but also email us. We have an email down below, or tweet us. Everything that you see is there. It's available. Oh, crap. And we have merch. I should have said that at the beginning, but second time to announce it. I actually went ahead and got one of our shirts and a mug, and I cannot wait to unbox that for you. It says it's going to be a while. It says like COVID-19 could like affect this, so I don't know how long it's going to take, but whenever I do get it, I am really excited to literally unbox those things, like, because just it being physically there for me is just going to be like, wow, because this will be the first time for me to actually, like, well, not really the first time, but because I've actually made Trav Choice shirts before on the old logo, but and I've had them in my hands. But anyway, second time then to have this amazing Bearded Bro Show podcast logo. Shout out again to Jake for making that logo. He's amazing. Avox Music on Twitter. Yeah, follow us everywhere, guys, and just you can literally message us on any of this and say, hey, what's up? Like, we will comment back. Even if I've done it. We've had a listener literally tweet us, and I was at work and I replied to every like, I just, like, we're not too
at the same time.
We're not too, we're busy guys, but we're gonna take time for you. That's what I'm trying to say. So message us no matter what it's about, and we love you, and we'll talk to you guys next time.